Thursday, July 18th, 2019.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
They're supposed to call it 9:35.
You know, do
I think so. Ed, you want to go? Yeah, you want to go real quick?
In lieu of the prayer today, we're doing the introduction of our commissioner's liaison that we just hired. Actually, she's our budget analyst, Lois Heater, and
Hi.
thought we'd give you a chance to say hello, ask her whatever questions you'd like to ask.
Where are you from? Right, yeah.
I got a long time.
Where are you from? Around here? Or?
Island. I live in
Okay, good.
Oh, no.
Yeah, another one of those.
Really?
Yes.
Are you an accountant?
Yes.
You a CPA?
No, I'm just certified CPA.
So you just didn't take the test?
Yeah. I just have my bachelor's degree.
Are you gonna take the test?
I don't know, maybe. Right now I'm raising my baby, so we'll see.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
If you need any dance lessons before your son's wedding.
Why,
I'm
is
a
that?
dance teacher.
No.
Yes.
Like all kinds of dances?
Yeah, kind of. So acrobats, tap, jazz, ballet.
Well,
There you go.
So if you wanna
Yes,
do
I think you
like
should.
sunsetting or something?
I thought you meant like a waltz or something. I mean, you don't do that?
No ballroom.
There's going to be waltzing?
Of course.
Do they know that?
Is that what you do at a wedding?
Maybe.
Yeah, wedding
Not in
do.
Milan. Well, thank you.
Here, you should stick around for this, because this is just gonna be unbelievable.
All right.
He's kidding. We're leaving.
Hello.
Good morning, this is Teresa Garcia with Sandusky County Commissioner's Office.
Okay? You have all three commissioners.
We thought it might be you.
I have Commissioner Miller, Commissioner Zimmerman, and Commissioner Ryder in the room. We also have our sanitary engineer, Steve Sheets, and Assistant Sanitary Engineer, Zach Mulder. They're in the meeting, so they're in the room as well. Were you able to review the resolution for the joint ditches?
Yeah, we got it right
Yes.
here.
So I'll go ahead and read off Resolution 2019-223. The resolution is authorizing that the proposed maintenance work for 2019, the Sylvester Brenner Joint County Ditch number 662, the B.W. Carbler Joint County Ditch number 666, and Wall Joint County Ditch number 984 in Sandusky and Erie counties be approved and submitted by the ditch maintenance supervisor. And I attached the different, the documents from our ditch maintenance supervisor. We've got the Sylvester Brenner Joint County Ditch at 6%, B.W. Carbler at 6%, Wall Joint County at 5%. Any questions?
Nope.
A motion to approve?
I'll second it.
And that is,
Commissioner Shenigo.
thank you. Okay, the roll call, Commissioner Miller?
Yes.
Commissioner Reimer? Yes. Commissioner Zimmerman? Yes. Commissioner Schaffner?
Yes.
Mr. Shanigo?
Yes.
Mr. Old?
Yes.
Okay, so passed. If you can just, you sign the document and then just email that to me, I will send the finalized one for your records.
Thank you.
Sounds good.
Oh, have a great day.
Same to you.
Thank
See you
you.
guys.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
How do we do?
Very good. Sound covered.
Were you nervous?
Oh, never.
I was gonna ask him some questions, so I wanna pay 4% instead of, but I didn't.
Thanks.
See you.
Thanks.
Good deal.
Pete?
I've got a couple things for you. Latest and greatest sales tax report. Actually, this is for the month of April.
just for the month itself compared to last year, we didn't do too good. It was down almost 2% from a year ago. Overall, year over year, we're, what, 0.75% higher than last year, about $60,000. According to the budget, which we set at 1% above, we're about 0.2% below where we should be. So we're essentially kind of tracking right about where we thought we would. As you can see, there's a little bit of a trend with the numbers. Started out pretty good, and then after that, every other month, one's up, one's down, one's up, one's down, so kind of thing.
But you're still looking at May right now.
Yeah, I mean, this was April, so.
April.
But again, that's, you know, our last month that we collect is for September, so it takes us through the end of the summer. So coming up now is essentially the 5 months that Cedar Point's open,
Right.
if you will. Really, 3 full months, or, well, pretty much most of May, June, July, certainly August, and September we get into the, after Labor Day, then the weekends.
Any news on the Amazon tax situation? They bring it up in the Senate or the House?
They passed the budget. I don't know if that
Oh,
was.
they did?
They did that yesterday.
No.
The governor's sitting on it this morning. I don't know if he signed it yet, but they expect it by noon.
Yeah, but it didn't include Davis Bessie.
No,
Right.
they're-
That was a separate bill.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's not the part, that wasn't part of the budget bill.
That went through the Senate, not the House.
Who said it was, though?
Well, they were just passing it with the budget. It wasn't in the budget.
Yeah, right. But then they think it would be done?
There were 3 yes Republicans that weren't there, or representatives that weren't there to vote, so they just delayed until August 1st.
Can't they do it like today? Get those 3 people there?
I think one of them is sailing around Cape of Good Hope or somewhere, headed that way.
Helicopters?
Maybe. Yeah, I think First Energy flying that.
What else you got, sir?
Okay, I'll let you know that I did meet with the Executive Director of Lake Erie Shores and Islands. I think you guys were aware that we got a revision on our lodging tax regulations from the Ohio Hotel Association. Essentially what they did was include what's called short-term rentals. In other words, your Airbnbs and your VRBOs and those type of things. So we sat down and went through the recommended changes. There was had a separate piece just on those. So we talked about pieces in there. A lot of it really, it doesn't apply to the county. It applied more to, you know, the municipality or township or whatever, you know, that jurisdiction is, which, you know, as a county, we don't have any control over those kind of things. So we were gonna scrap some of those pieces, so it was a matter of, I've said, you know, we need to take that one document and incorporate it into the overall rules and regulations, so I'm gonna kind of work on that. One of the issues I do want to bounce off of you guys that was suggested in there is some pretty substantial annual, an initial fee, which is pretty substantial, and then some ongoing fees. Is that something we want to take a look at? In other words, if you're a hosting platform, let's just say VRBO, what was suggested in there is like a $10,000 initial fee.
This is for the internet companies or companies
Yeah,
that?
right. In other words, platforms, if
Right.
you will. And then if you're a actual host or property, it's $2,500 initial fee, and like a $250 annual fee.
What does that do?
Well, I know that's what I was trying to figure out. What is the purpose of that? To me, it was almost self-defeating. In other words, with those kind of numbers they threw out there, it's like you're telling them you don't want them.
Yeah, it sounds punitive.
Yeah, it sounded kind of punitive. So, what we kind of talked about, was we thought we should just take that out of there.
I would tend to agree, to take it out. I would certainly agree not to do it against the actual property owners.
Mhm.
If you're going to do something like that with the online stuff.
The idea is to get, say, these platforms to come, make an agreement for collecting the taxes.
But what if they say no?
Hmm?
What if they don't talk to us?
Well, it's still in there that they're responsible.
Can we,
But that's not teeth, is it?
yeah, how are we regulating
Right, where's the teeth?
Airbnb?
Well, I mean, you know, I understand where you're coming from. As far as teeth, the only thing we can do really is basically put in some stiff penalties if you get caught.
The 10%.
Well, that's if you're late paying.
No, but they were talking about the penalty if you get caught was that matched the late paying penalty on real estate taxes of 10%. Arbitrary number, but I
Yeah.
guess it's been used before.
I have to take a look at that piece. Yeah, I thought about that that needs to be substantial, but primarily, I mean, your remedy is really, is through the courts, you know, if it's challenged.
Sure.
You know, in a civil, not a criminal type action.
But that, so my understanding in talking to that guy, because I asked that question, this has been tested and they've lost. Whoever sued Travelocity, they've always lost.
Mm-hmm.
But recently, he said they won somewhere, I forget where he said. So he said, that's why this is all coming back up again, is that it's a new deal, that supposedly there's a case, blah, 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 that Travelocity, I'm saying Travelocity, Priceline, whatever, they lost.
Mm-hmm.
And then that.
You know, we didn't, you know, I'm not, maybe I need to take a look at that again, but it didn't address kind of what you're talking about, which is the regular hotel booking agent, if you will.
Right, I mean, it's more than Airbnbs, it's the whole
Mhm.
thing. How do you know that you're getting what you're getting? And then that opens a discussion for, are you getting what they charged or what the hotel guy got charged? That's where the state needs to come in and say, you should pay on the whole amount. If I send a check for $150, I should get reimbursed the percentage based on 150.
Sure.
Not what the hotel guy gets for $100.
Right.
But that's beyond our capacity, right?
I believe so.
But as far as taxing a homeowner because they want to put their home on it, or charging them a fee of $2,500, I don't think that's right for someone trying to, they're already paying the 4% bed tax, that's
Mm-hmm.
our cost, you know, the cost of staying in a hotel room in Erie County.
Sure.
I don't want to charge
gets
them
this
extra
money?
fee.
Yeah, who gets the money? The fee?
Visitor Bureau.
Is
The
it
fee?
considered part of the bed tax?
In other words,
Lodging tax?
exactly, be part of the bed tax.
But who pays the check? And who gets the check? So you're saying
Say Airbnb writes a $10,000 check to Erie County.
which in turn goes to Visitor Bureau?
Yeah. Well, that's another question. I
What
guess you'd
Larry
split
said.
it up 4 ways. We didn't really talk about that. Because we just thought it really was counterproductive and we should just eliminate it. So if we eliminate it, there's no discussion.
Would they know how many people, how many this would impact? Are we talking 5 or 6? Are we talking 50? Are we
Don't
talking
know.
2?
I really honestly don't know.
We don't know.
Well, it'd be everybody. Hundreds,
Thousands, maybe.
at least hundreds.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm talking just in Erie County.
Oh, just properties, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
I
talking,
mean, it could be in excess
you know,
of 1,000.
yeah, that's, you know, that'd be like the 2,500, but like 10,000 per se, like a
Oh, yeah, that would.
VRBO, I mean, it's not a whole lot. I mean, there's a handful of them for sure.
Mhm.
But I just so you know, so you know, we discussed, gonna work on it, then check, the next step I was gonna do is check with the auditor, check with the prosecutors, have them look it over, see what they think. and bring it back here.
So, where are we on, the last meeting I had with them was over the auditor had bought some software that was supposed to figure out via, checking on the website, VRBOs, to
Mhm.
know that, you know, a house over here is renting. And so then, is the auditor then doing that now?
I do not know. Good question. I think, from what I recall, the last conversations I heard was that they weren't gonna use that part of the software.
But they already bought it. And this magical software, was the whole purpose that it went out
I
and
was thinking it was a
scanned?
separate fee to do that type of work.
I don't think so. I think it was 20,000. And that was
It's
what.
25,000 a year, so, okay.
Yeah. But that's why you paid the money, is it went out and did this search of, so Erin puts her house up for rent
Mm-hmm,
on a site, doesn't have to be VRBO, it could be anything.
mm-hmm.
It automatically picks that up, and then the auditor's people can call and say, hey, you need to pay this bed tax.
Yeah. You need to
'Cause
sign
it-
up and pay.
Because why else would we be paying the 25,000?
Mm-hmm.
Can you
No, it
follow
was
up?
more, the software's more than that. It's, in other words, it's, as opposed to a paper form you fill out every month to turn, or quarter to turn in your money, you would do this online.
Right,
That was the other.
that was another piece.
Yeah, I think that was probably the bigger piece.
But my understanding was, and this gets confusing, it went from 1.5% to 2% to 3%, I'm not sure, that the Visitor Bureau was paying to the auditor.
Mm-hmm.
It was up, then it went down, then it went back up even more, right? And I wanna say it was like 200 and some thousand or something, or 180,000 a year,
Mm-hmm.
that goes back to us, which in turn goes to the auditor.
Well, it's to support his expenses for administering the program.
100%. But for that kind of money, wouldn't you have 2 to 3 employees that are just working on debts?
No, I claim that that's not what, that's not the effort that's taken.
You mean they're not two employees working exclusively on?
No.
Well, then why are we giving them
Never
money?
It's more paying the accounting firms that go out and do the auditing.
Not true. I thought the same thing.
Oh, that's the biggest part of the expense.
Well, I've asked the accounting firms, and I haven't seen any, they haven't been out lately, as was the quote.
That's a question for the official.
All right, well, why don't you ask him?
Okay. Also, I emailed you, we got a request from from Judge McGookie about requesting additional monies for her budget, roughly $33,000. First, it was just, we want $33,000, and finance said, well, we need to have that broken down into what accounts and amounts and that type of thing. We did get a response. So I don't know if you know, the official has made the offer that you're willing to come in and discuss what they're requesting. You'd like that? or-
No, she doesn't need to come in, she's busy, all right, I'm sure. What she needs to do is give the detail of what you need the money for, just
And
like anybody else does.
we did get that.
I didn't see it.
Oh.
At least I couldn't understand it, because it
Okay.
looked like $3,000 for office supplies.
Right.
Well, I hope we're not buying coffee. We had that discussion once.
Yeah, right.
Do you remember that discussion?
I do.
Did I miss something?
No, I would agree that, yeah, I read the numbers and what account line it goes in, but I have no idea what it means. So I would like that detail. That would just make it easier.
Okay.
Because didn't we give a lot of money at the beginning of the year for salaries?
Mhm.
As I remember, do you remember the number that we were wrestling with?
Well, it was more at the end of last year that you spent more than what we budgeted was the real big issue.
How much was it?
I don't recall offhand, but it was in the tens of thousands,
Let's see, 30 or 60? I can't
somewhere in there.
Can you have that for us for the next meeting? We can
Sure.
Discuss it.
Sure.
Because I thought we solved the issue of payroll and jury.
Mm-hmm.
And, because remember the discussion? Well, if she's got to pay the jury, that means one of the other two judges didn't pay the jury. So it should all wash out in the end. Isn't that what we said?
Kind of, yeah.
Well, then why are we discussing this again?
If Fisher requested. Yeah, we'll get more information.
But yeah, she doesn't need to waste her time. If we've got questions, we'll bring her in, but, you know, she's very busy, I'm sure, and just a matter of getting it in writing.
Yeah, well, part of it is taking her part-time, her administrator from 3 days a week to 4 days a week. She said she needs her.
No, it says at the bottom of the email, I only work 3 days a week.
No,
The
but
request is to add the other day.
Yeah.
That's
But it
one of
said-
the
but it says in the
$30,000.
email that I only work 3 days a week.
Currently.
Yeah, currently.
Right. Another item, again, I emailed you folks on is a request from the health department, you know, regarding the new rehab center over there. As you may be aware that, you know, to do the counseling, they have to do that not in the residential unit. They've got to do it in some other physical location. And we're using the health department space, and the health department is saying that, you know, they really don't have it. It sounds like the provider is amenable to getting a modular unit, putting it on the property. But again, because it's our property, we need our permission to go ahead and do that.
Well, there's more to that discussion
Mhm.
than that. So my last conversation with Makata was they didn't have money to buy this. It's not a modular unit, they're buying something that was used by the Cleveland Clinic. It's 3 things that go together. It's like 2,500 square feet. It's
Yeah,
big.
48 by 90 total.
That's 3,600 square feet.
That's what,
Or if that's 4,500 square feet. Did you say 50 by 90?
48 by 90.
So-
Yeah.
Yeah, so 50 by 90 is 4,500 square feet.
Mm-hmm.
That's even bigger.
Yeah.
The last I talked to Tom Stuber from Wakata, I suggested that he go to the state, and maybe this is something you can help with your connections down there, is we have that space where the sign shop that's gonna open up. You know, that room that's over there, that's probably 4,500 square feet where the doors are. Why can't you go in there? Well, there's some stupid federal rule that says you can't be connected physically.
Right.
So I said, why don't you explain to the people at the state that pretend it's a strip center. And you're at one end of the strip center, and I'm at the other end, and I'm still in the same building, but it has a different address every time. Or pretend it's a condominium office building. Could you do it then? Well, the answer came back that as long as it had a street address separate from the other address, that counted. So I said, let's condominiumize our building and give a separate address to that space,
Mm-hmm.
which you can get from the post office, that's not a city thing. And that way you can just go in there, because they're talking, these modular units are hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Mhm.
This isn't cheap stuff, it's real expensive stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's, part of this is they're saying, and what you, this modular unit would have a separate address.
Exactly, it's the address.
Mm-hmm.
So they thought that was gonna fly with the state, so maybe it didn't fly. So I think, let me get some more intel on this from Lakota and see what they say.
Okay.
Do you guys have an objection to putting a modular unit out there?
I don't know if I'm in favor. Does anybody understand the irony that they're talking about? You're putting a modular unit there that the city just took how many years to get rid of a mobile home park right next door at Lions Park? I get it, you can make it look like $1 million, but it still is what it is. Did they not think of all these possibilities before all this came up? Because I'm with Pat, I'd rather see if it's at all possible
Mm-hmm.
in that, I get it, you can't be in the facility the same, I get all that, but I would hope there'd be options like Pat's talking about, that you can get them in the end, put a wall up where you gotta do on the inside, I get that, but, and it's a separate place.
Why don't we take the initiative as commissioners to write a letter, have Pete write a letter to, I'll find out who to write it to, it's probably the mental health board from the state, saying, explaining our scenario, that we own this building, and because of federal rules, we have to have a separate address. We can figure out how to do a separate address on the existing building. The space is there, it'll be a lot less expensive. Can you help? And sign it, the 3 Erie County Commissioners. And we could get that out right away, next week. And maybe when you're down there, you could talk to somebody, have Teresa help you or somebody.
I'm not against that. I mean, the state doesn't control federal regulations, so that might be where it ends, but.
Might be.
If-
But I think the rule is the address in the federal side.
Yeah, I mean, if they're amenable, I mean, I'm also not opposed to getting this problem solved. If that's with a mobile unit, that's with a mobile unit, but I'm taking this step is a smart first step before going onto that mobile unit.
Yeah, I have not talked to Pete about this, so I don't know where, he hasn't said anything to me. Did he call you?
It certainly seems, yeah, you know, we did talk about this several weeks ago a little bit. He did tell me that this was coming.
Who talked to you?
Apparently, though, it sounds like they must have talked to Lakota Way about it. Said the unit would be plumbed for water and sewer, electrical hookup is elementary, as well as site preparation. Lakota Way will rent this unit for at least 60-month term.
That's funny, because Lakota Way told me that they couldn't afford it. So I'm really confused. That's the way, the last conversation I had with Tom Stuber a couple weeks ago was it was too much money.
I mean, I would say we shouldn't be paying for it either.
No, that, they need to pay for it.
Yeah.
No question about that.
Yeah, them or the health department or.
Well, the good news is, good problem to have. Got too much business. So-
Yeah.
True. Well, they asked for asking for a reply.
We're gonna write a letter to the state, that's our reply.
Okay.
We're gonna try and help you,
All right.
right?
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know why they would disagree. It seems preferential to have space that we already own rather than plopping a trailer down with nice bushes.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like they already talked to the city. Again, according to this letter, it says, closing, look for a favorable reply from your office on allowing these units to be placed, subsequent to the city renaming the lot, the sublot as 501 Superior Street, to which someone at the city has already agreed to do.
Who has?
Somebody at the city,
Is somebody?
Jane Cullen, somebody out of their engineering office.
They got that in writing?
I don't know about that, but this is in writing. But like you said, you know, if an address thing is more to do with the post office than anything else, then
It is, right.
I don't know, you know.
How
Well,
close
yeah.
is that, how close is the building if we could get them in that end, basically, and putting up a wall inside to
It's already there.
separate it? It's already
there.
separated.
Done.
I'm all for going this way because we can hopefully maybe save money in the whole process.
Yeah.
It's gonna be cheaper doing that than, but I get it, federal rules are federal rules, and those aren't easy to change.
Anything else?
Well, you got a lot of things on your mind this week.
See, comes and goes.
Your mind or the ideas?
No, that's, I'm done.
You sure?
Yeah.
I have a question about, we have a travel expense request from Mr. Farshman for luncheon in preparation for labor management meeting at 1 PM at Diana's Deli. 3 meals for $8.81 apiece. What is this?
To be honest with you, I was a little confused when I saw it too, because those travel request forms are for out-of-county travel as required by the code.
Mhm.
This is in the county. If you'll notice, I signed it disapproving it.
Yeah.
Is this coming from his motor vehicle gas tax
Yeah, it would.
funding?
But
Why
what if
would-
we do that for everybody?
Dave, when you have.
I'm
labor-
ready to have a meeting, I need to talk to maybe somebody, I'm
When
gonna
you
take
have
them out to lunch, and the county's
preparation.
gonna pay for it.
Yeah, you have
That's the
preparation
issue to
for a
me.
meeting.
Now, everybody from the county's gonna get their lunches paid.
For
I got a
preparing for a
problem.
meeting.
I
All right,
got a
so-
problem with that.
You know, now, wait a minute. This is a
Doing it.
sore subject, and there's the guy I don't like right there. Now, when we had our big meeting that time with, what, 25 people? And I sent Mr. Decker out to get some pizzas. I did. And how much did that cost my credit card? $120 for pizzas that I had to pay for.
Get reimbursed?
No, I paid it. I offered to buy lunch. But I didn't say I was buying lobster tails. It was pizza.
I just ordered what you told me to.
Hey, pizza is expensive anymore.
Well, that was from our Huron County Commissioner Skip at the Domino's. I thought that would help our situation, but apparently it didn't.
I mean, I'm
I'm
not.
sorry, I digress.
I'm not out of
That's
line.
That's a precedent I don't wanna set.
Yeah, I'm not out of line in disapproving this.
Me spending $120 for the UES lunch?
That we're in favor.
No,
I
I'm
think
not
that
talking
is a
about
bad
that one, I'm
idea.
just talking about what's in front of you.
All right, I mean, this is not, you guys don't, if you want to have a meeting to prepare for a meeting, just go into someone's office and prepare for the meeting, right? That's the way I would do it. Okay.
Is that it? You wanna ask? You wanna unapprove it?
No, I signed to approve it. $20, saw it, wanted to get it away and get it out of my face. Didn't want to deal with it anymore. Didn't want to have the discussion.
All right, next,
That's it?
we have some resolutions, I assume.
We do. I have motions first. Motion to approve Rob Quinn to the Mental Health and Recovery Board for a full 4-year term.
Second?
Mr. Schaffner?
Yes.
Mr. Old?
Yes.
Mr. Shenigo?
Yes.
Motion to cancel the following meetings, Mondays in August, August 5th, 12th, 19th, and 26th.
Second?
Mr. Schaffner?
Yes.
Mr. Old?
Yes.
Mr. Shenigo?
Yes.
Motion to approve the minutes of the June 27th meeting.
Second?
Mr. Schaffner?
Yes.
Mr. Old?
Yes.
Mr. Shenigo?
Motion to award the bid to Erie Blacktop for Columbus Avenue resurfacing.
Second?
Mr. Schaffner?
Yes.
Mr. Old?
Yes.
Mr.
Oh,
Shenigo?
sorry, I got ahead of you.
Move to award the bid for the Meadows at Osborne Park fire alarm upgrades to all-phase power and lighting.
Second?
Mr. Schaffner?
Yes.
Mr. Old?
Yes.
Mr. Shenigo?
Yes.
Move to award a contract to Aramark for the outsourcing dietary janitorial laundry services at the Meadows at Osborne Park.
Second.
Mr. Schaffner?
Yes.
Mr. Old?
Yes.
Mr. Shenigo?
And now resolutions.
Yep.
Move for adoption of resolution of Board of Commissioners for the purpose of approving a transfer of funds.
Second.
Mr. Schaffner?
Yes.
Mr. Old?
Yes.
Mr. Shenigo?
Yes.
Move for adoption of resolution of Board of Commissioners for executing payment of then and now certification presented by the county auditor pursuant to ORC 570541D1 and authorizing the drawing of warrants and payment of amounts due upon contract or order.
Second.
Mr. Schaffner?
Yes.
Mr. Old?
Yes.
Mr. Shenigo?
Move for adoption of resolution of Board of Commissioners for the purpose of declaring certain items surplus and ordering same to be discarded or salvaged.
Second.
Mr. Schaffner?
Yes.
Mr. Old?
Yes.
Mr. Shenigo?
Move for adoption of resolution of Board of Commissioners authorizing the county auditor to make interfund transfers.
Second.
Mr. Schaffner?
Yes.
Mr. Old?
Yes.
Mr. Shenigo?
Move for adoption of resolution of Board of Commissioners authorizing the county auditor to make supplemental appropriations.
Second.
Mr. Schaffner?
Yes.
Mr. Old?
Yes.
Mr. Shenigo?
Move for adoption of resolution of Board of Commissioners for the purpose of declaring certain Erie County equipment surplus and ordering same to be sold by internet auction.
Second.
Mr. Schaffner?
Yes.
Mr. Old?
Yes.
Mr. Shenigo?
Yes.
Move for adoption of resolution of Board of Commissioners authorizing the county auditor to make supplemental appropriations.
Second.
Mr. Schaffner?
Yes.
Mr. Old?
Yes.
Mr. Shenigo?
Yes.
Move for adoption of Board of Commissioners authorizing the county auditor to make an interfund transfer.
Second.
Mr. Schaffner?
Yes.
Mr. Old?
No, yes. Sorry, David.
Mr. Shenigo?
Either reading or talking.
Yes.
Can't do both.
That's all I have.
Yep.
Public comment? If not, I move we go into executive session regarding employment
Second.
and
Mr. Old?
pending litigation. Yeah, you can.
Second to both.
Mr. Old?
Yes.
Mr. Schaffner?
Yes.
Mr. Shenigo?
Executive session.
Second.
Mr. Old?
Yes.
Mr. Schaffner?
Yes.
Mr. Shenigo?
Will we adjourn?
Second.
Mr. Old?
Yes.
Mr. Schaffner?
Yes.
Mr. Shenigo?
Yes.